I went to Birmingham over the weekend for what I thought was the best game of the weekend, the New Orleans Breakers versus the Birmingham Stallions. And I came away believing that the New Orleans Breakers are about it, which leads us into our USFL Week 3 Power Rankings. All right, so number 1, 3-0, the last undefeated team in USFL, the New Orleans Breakers, who absolutely smacked the Birmingham Stallions 45-31. In the postgame, I asked Skip Holtz, what do you take from this after telling your team over and over again, you ain't won nothing, you ain't nobody, that was last year's team, you got to earn it every week. And he said, I've just got to double down on that message, because you could hear it in the final drive of the game for the Stallions as they had an opportunity to try to fight back from 2 scores down. They took 2 sacks in 3 plays, and Skip just said to his players, hey, they wanted it more than we did. That can't happen if you're a Birmingham Stallion. That's how the New Orleans Breakers have won football games to start. They also have great veteran leadership in McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and they got 191 yards rushing out of West Hills in that game. The top passer, the top rusher, and the top wide receiver, or I should say receiver, in the USFL all belong to John DeFilippo's New Orleans Breakers. They are my number 1. All right, number 2, didn't slide that far. Birmingham Stallions sit at number 2. For the first time in over a year, right, when we're talking about the power rankings, just their second loss since the USFL returned in April last year. They still are the defending champs, but it's got to rattle some cages that they took a loss to the team that is sharing their hub city in New Orleans at Protective Stadium. This is not a thing that we're used to seeing. What I add to this is I'm in the press box. I'm writing my stories. I'm getting ready to go down to interview players and coaches. On the way down, you talk to event staff, and I do catch up. Most folks are from Birmingham, and they would ask me, what's the score? And I said 45-31. They said Birmingham. I said, no, ma'am. I say the Breakers. We lost? I was like, man, y'all just that far from Tuscaloosa. Y'all ain't used to catching L's, huh? Because that's how it feels right now. Birmingham, the city, is taking this personally, and I'm sure the Stallions are going to feel every bit of that going into week 4. Number 3 in the power rankings for me, the New Jersey Generals, right, who have made the sin of losing to Birmingham twice to open their seasons in back-to-back years, but also have followed with consecutive wins, right? They move atop the North Division with their win in what I thought was an outstanding game at Ford Field against the Michigan Panthers. They absolutely showed up to run the ball and play defense. Former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr had back-to-back games now of 10 tackles or more. They rushed the ball for 198 yards. They held the ball for just 24 minutes and still did that in a 28-13 victory to really spoil the home opener for the hometown team in the Michigan Panthers. But it was a great atmosphere. I enjoyed seeing all the stars on the sidelines, including Megatron, who made it out, right? Who doesn't like to see Megatron at Ford Field? Probably could go out there and make the Detroit Lions better right now. Number 4 on the list for me, the Michigan Panthers, right? They catch their first loss of the season to the Generals, but the Generals, again, were a playoff team and a team that we thought was going to play in the USFL championship game before they took a loss to Philadelphia. All USFL running back Reggie Corbin from a year ago had only 38 yards on the ground on 8 rushes. And then as good as Josh Love was to start week 1, where he put together the most efficient passing performance in USFL history, he looked absolutely lost and frustrated against that Generals defense. As a matter of fact, we're talking about a guy that had 15 or 31 passes completed for just 101 yards with an interception. And then the Panthers came unglued down the stretch. And I just don't know that you're going to be able to coach that, or I should say you should be able to coach that out, right? You should be able to coach, hey, keep your composure. Let's not penalize ourselves. Let's take care of the little things, take care of the details, and see where we end up. And I think if the Panthers do that, they have the talent to get themselves back into playoff contention. Frankly, they're right there, right? They're the second team in. Number 5 on the list, the Philadelphia Stars, who dropped to 1-2 and have caught back-to-back losses for the first time since the USFL reformed in 2022. Common denominator here is Case Cookis, quarterback for the Philadelphia Stars, throwing at least 2 interceptions in both losses. For a team that wants to throw the ball as often as Philadelphia does, Cookis has to be better with the football. I understand there are a couple plays where it didn't feel like he was on the same page as his wide receivers, but you got to get that fixed in the huddle, or you got to get that fixed in film. But it can't keep happening, or you're running out of room before you can get back into this playoff picture. But I mean, we're talking about a team that finishes a runner-up in the USFL championship. last year. I think Bart Andrews' squad can get it figured out. Number 6 on the list, the Houston Gamblers, who get out the schneid. 30-26 win against the Memphis Showboats. Really great game from Kenji Bahar, who still continues to show he's progressing. 200-yard passing performance with 2 TDs and just 1 INT. Had a game-winning pass that was caught by Justin Hall with 18 seconds left to play on a 3rd and 10. Hall had a great day, 90 yards receiving and that TD. And Mark Thompson showing up to run the ball well, 81 rush yards on 21 rushes with 2 TDs in the first win of Curtis Johnson's career. Congratulations to him and the USFL Gamblers. Pittsburgh Maulers are moving up in the world to number 7, 1-2. They get their first win of the 2023 season and also the first win of Coach Ray Horton's career. Very excited for him. 21-13 that they beat the Stars. And it was really about their defense continuing to be their defense, led by former Alabama linebacker Reuben Foster, who had 11 tackles, 2 for a loss, 2 passes defended, and an interception in the win. They also got great special teams play, right? At one point, Ray Horton is making jokes on the sideline about, I feel like we're the Golden State Warriors for all these threes we making. Chris Blewett, which is wildly unfortunate name for a kicker, made 5 field goals, right? I'm saying, any way you get it done, especially as you're still trying to figure out what you got in quarterbacks. Troy Williams was 10 of 18 for 96 yards with a TD in the win. You love to see some more offensive production from the Maulers because it feels like if they get good quarterback play, they're a team that can upset some people down the stretch here as we get into the meat of the schedule. And then finishing out, number 8, 0-3, Memphis Showboats, the only team left without a win this season. But I saw some good things from former Southeastern Louisiana quarterback Cole Kelly, who was 21 of 38 for 307 yards passing, 2 TDs, and a pick in the loss. They were right there in it till the end. They're making progress. I think Todd Haley Showboats need to get it together, though, because you're looking at 0-3 and then 0-2 in the division, and 2 of the best teams in the league also sit atop your division. You got to get a move on if you're going to get this done, Memphis. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.